Hi guys, I am making samples today and I thought I was going to just take a little break and share with all of you how I make samples. We have so many new consultants in our team that I think it'd be a great idea to just share a variety of ways that you can make samples and kind of give a reason why you want to make samples. First of all, Scentsy is such an amazing product, and when a customer can truly experience it, that's when they can realize just how amazing it is with how strong the fragrance is, how long lasting the products are, and just really get an essence and the experience the scent. And so really guys, the most valuable tool that you have in your business is your samples. It's getting the fragrance, getting the product underneath a person's nose just to smell and just to experience. So how I make my samples, I simply use a mold. This mold came from the Scentsy family store. In fact, they're on clearance right now, and they come in a pack of 2. So if you were to use both molds, you would get 60 samples out of it. And the way I do it is I simply just take the bar that I want to make the fragrance of, make the samples, and I put it on the cutting board, use a knife, just chop it up into little pieces and put the pieces in each one of the molds. And then I just put it in my oven on low heat. And it takes 3-4 minutes. It doesn't take very long at all. And then you just bring it out and let them cool, and you just pop them up. Another method that I know consultants like to use is just to get a grater, a cheese grater, a handheld grater, where they put the cubes of wax in and they just grind or grate the wax into each sample, and they take a blow dryer and they blow over top of it so that the wax will melt, and again, it doesn't take very long, and then they just let it solidify and pop the shapes up. Now, you do not have to use this mold particularly. You can use any type of candy mold that can be found at Walmart, Michael's, Kmart, anywhere. Just look in the candy making section, and you'll be able to find different molds. I know there's some molds that are really really small that you can get just like small dots out of, but again, it doesn't matter how big your sample is, because again, this is just a sample. Sometimes when I am running low, or else I've ran out of all of the samples that I've made, I will just take a cube from my bar and I'll just simply label it, and that will be my sample. If I want to make my bar last longer and I don't have time to make these samples, I simply will take a crinkle cutter, a knife that has like one of those little crinkly, wavy edges on it, and I simply just cut my bar up, and so my bar then just has little waves in it, so it's kind of fun to give customers that as well. So this will make 60 samples if you use both of them, and it took me 2.5 bars to make 60 samples. And again, you can see I did some pretty thick and some pretty thin, so you can kind of decide the thickness level that you want. Again, this is just for sampling. It's to experience the fragrance of it. Another method, if you really want to make your bar last long and you want to be able to reach as many people as possible, is to use felt samples. And that's simply just getting a piece of felt, cutting up it into strips, and then just taking tweezers and dipping it into your wax and bringing it out and putting it on wax paper to let it dry. And then again, packaging it up and labeling it so that people can go and experience it. They can open it up, they can smell it, they can actually put it in a warmer, and you'll just have to tell them to remove it. Just turn it on, let the fragrance be warmed, and then take it off and remove that felt from within there. How I give my samples out is I simply bag them up. Now, I actually do 2 different ways. For my new customers, or for potential new customers, people that aren't my existing customers, I will actually put my business card in as well as simply labeling the fragrance so that they can have my contact information to call me later. But then right now what I'm working on is my samples for my existing customers. So they already have my information, or else they're going to be getting my information through a different method. Right now I'm making my samples for the scent of the month, and they'll be getting the flyer of the month along with my information so that they can contact me with that. So I don't actually use my business card with my existing customers, because they are receiving something else of mine with information, either a thank you card that has all of my information on as well. That goes into it. So with the labels, I simply just use from the Scentsy family store. Again, you don't have to. You can make your own labels from Avery, any type of template. But I will just go ahead and I will print the fragrance on, so I don't have to handwrite every one of them. But you're welcome to handwrite it, whatever you prefer. and then I simply will just label on top of it and hand them out. And that's the key point, is really handing them out and getting people to experience the fragrance. A lot of times when I do customer follow-up, I will lead with a sample. I mean, that's the easiest way. It takes the pressure off of me of kind of knowing what to say. So I will talk about if there's a fragrance of the month, or else if there's new releases that came out that I'm making samples of. If there's a customer that I think they are going to really love this fragrance, I will simply call that person up and just say, hey, I just wanted to let you know I just made these samples and it smells so much like this. I think you're going to love it. Would you like me to drop one in the mail for you, or would you like me to swing it by your house later on this week? So it's just an easy way that I can touch base with my customers and see how they're still enjoying their products, if they need anything. But by leading with a sample, you know, it's something fun and something, it's just an easy way to engage in a conversation. So that is just my little tips on making samples. So my challenge to you is, when you make samples, make sure you get them out in the hands of people so that they can be experiencing it and that they can be coming back to you for more. My samples I love to give out at parties. I'm always giving out samples at parties. The more I can give out, the happier I am, because I know those people are going to be really excited to experience it and to be able to use it. So happy sample making, everybody.